So how to use the method with other resources. So you might say, hey, look, that's fine, but I don't want to do that because other resources, all the other teachers out there, nobody else does that. And so I want to learn it this way where I'm looking at the guitar because that's the way everyone else does it. Well, I would argue that if you learn it as easily as possible with the orientation in such a way that you can learn it as fast as possible, it doesn't prevent you from rotating the guitar around in your mind. What you want to do is be able to just to work on it more and more, and the more you work on it, the more you will naturally be able to rotate things around in your mind. So I don't think it really stops you from being able to visualize things and rotate them around in their mind. I think one of the things that, well, in any case, the other thing you can do is you can take the video presentations that are out there and get a video of them in an MP4 format, possibly using screencast software to do that if it's legal just for personal use or whatever, no copyright, don't plagiarize anyone or anything like that. But if you can get the video image, then you can put it into software like Camtasia or any other software. There's a lot of free editing software out there, and just flip it. So this, once again, technology gives us the capacity to do things that we just couldn't do before to learn. And so one of those is you can basically get in some way or another the video format of anything that's out there on the interwebs, and then just flip it, take the mirror image, and that might help you to visualize the thing. You might also rotate the guitar down, just focus on their guitar. If their guitar is pointed upwards this way, then you might rotate it down so it's pointed this way, so you can line it up directly to what you're doing on your worksheet or something like that, right? You can do those tweaks because you have the software these days. Nobody really does that, but it's so easy to do. The software is basically free for many types of editing, not Camtasia, but a lot of software. So why most guitar teachers haven't adopted mirror image video instruction. So you might be saying, well, if this is obviously true, why is it nobody does it? Nobody does it. I don't see anybody doing it. Well, I'm thinking it's tradition and habit is going to be one reason. Most guitar teachers' teaching methods, especially video lessons, have inherited their format from live in-person instruction. Now note that if you're doing live instruction and you're teaching like one person, that's really ideal. That would be great, because then you could have that person sitting in front of you and you could point to their fretboard, you can move their fingers around and whatnot, but you can also have them sitting beside you on the left or right so that their guitar is facing the same direction and they're looking over their guitar as well as your guitar when you want to look that way as well. But if you're teaching more than one person, which is often the case for more popular, guitar teachers at a time, then the only way to do it is for them to be presenting in front like this and all the other people to be sitting behind them or in front of them, right? And that's the only way to really do the presentation. So that's what they're used to. And they're probably thinking, this is what I did, right? So another thing, like when you're a teacher, a couple of problems happen. One is you get good at something and you learn the beginner's mind. You forget you forget how it was to learn at that stage. And that makes it more difficult for you to put your mind in the thinker of the learner. But also, you can almost resent some of the changes that happened, right? Because you're like, dude, there's all these resources available now that I didn't have. And sometimes you feel like, well, I had to go through it this way. They should have to go through it this way. I'm not going to make it easy on them, even though obviously it's our job to make it easy and use whatever resources possible to make it as easy as possible. That's how you're going to be a good teacher, But you can see how that happens, right? You're like, this is the way I did it. If it's good enough for me, it's good enough for someone else. But things have advanced, they've changed. You could do it differently. There's pros and cons to the different eras of when people learn. So anyways, in a physical lesson, the teacher sits opposite the student, meaning the student sees a mirror image by default. So they sit opposite, meaning when they sit opposite, they're usually facing the other person. When the same approach is transferred to the video without adoption, the result is a camera-facing view that doesn't align with how the student is holding their own guitar. So obviously, when you put the camera in place, and if that's not what you're used to, what are you going to do? You're going to put it in the seat of a student that's sitting in front of you, that's going to be facing you, and that's what you would expect would be the way you align the camera.